3HL broadcasting live from Radio Row in Vegas, Mandalay Bay, Friday edition.
Get Friday.
Is that what it is?
I mean, if you want to have trash talk, that's cool, too.
Yeah, Brent Doherty, Ron Slay. Dawn Davenport's here. Hi, how are you?
Let's go.
Listen
Making
to
it.
this. All right, at the table, you'll recognize the voice, best voice in broadcasting. Kevin Harlan joins us now. Westwood one call coming up on 104.5 The Zone, Super Bowl, Chiefs, and 49ers. Kevin, what's up? How are you?
I'm going to go to the Low T Center and try to lower my voice here as we get closer to the game. Yeah.
They'll love that.
I like the bowl rate. That's free advertising, right?
Yes.
Listen,
that's good.
like
More money.
You do every sport, so like, what is your favorite play-by-play assignment?
Well, I'd have to say radio, NFL. I like the challenge of it the most. I just did a TNT NBA game last night in Los Angeles, Lakers and Nuggets, and I enjoy the NBA, and I've done that for 37 years.
Wow.
But radio is just the challenge is so great, right? You got to be a reporter. It's your inflection, it's your pacing, it's all these different things. It's the purest form of broadcasting. And I go back and listen to the tape and say, I wish I would have said that there, done this differently here. But I like that challenge, and it kind of keeps me at this stage of my career going. Radio is about the most fun thing I do.
You have to paint the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
So
yes.
when I was a kid, it was like Tennessee games growing up in Nashville were not on television every week,
So
right?
John
Like,
Ward was
John
your
Ward-
guy.
John
Yep.
Ward was
Yep.
my
There we
guy,
go.
and he was great at painting the picture, and
He
that's what I
was.
always wanted to do. Voice of the Vault.
5, 4, 3. Right, you count the numbers in the final five.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you were a kid, is that kind of a similar story? Like, did you know
Yep.
you wanted to do this?
Absolutely.
And who were your guys back then?
I like Jack Buck, and
yeah.
I'm in his chair doing the Super Bowl. He did
Yeah.
it for 17 years. He did 9 years, and he had a couple years off, and then 8 more years. And so I always just imagined when I was going through grade school and junior high and high school, radio network, sports play-by-play, that was my goal. And then TV just kind of happened. And I can't even tell you how it happened, quite frankly. It just kind of did. But in my heart, it was always radio play-by-play. So once I left Fox and went to CBS, doing the Final Four for 5 years was great. And then I switched over to Monday Night Football and then started doing the Super Bowl. My happiest years in broadcasting have been since then. So I started doing the Final Four in 03, stopped in 08, started doing Monday Night Football in 09. And I would have to say, as much as I love TV, radio is where my heart is.
So what number Super Bowl is this for you now?
15th overall and 14th in a row.
Wow.
So I say those words humbly, but with great pride that this is in my heart. I am fulfilling everything that I dreamt of doing as a little kid. Of course, you shoot high, and sometimes you're a little bit less than that, and things just kind of happen the way they do. But by the grace of God, it's happened this way. And when I put that headset on Sunday, I take nothing for granted. I say a little prayer of thanks, and I'm glad I'm what I'm doing, and incredibly thankful and humble that I've been in this position.
I'd love to know. Great success over the years. What any bad patches that you hit?
You know
patches
what?
that you had to work
Adversity
again,
or something?
You know the best part of my whole life is my wife of 37 years. Our daughter is roaming around here. So she's one of 4 kids.
Olivia. She's the best.
Yeah, I saw you two talking earlier
Yes.
on.
We're both working moms and
There
have
you
to
go.
deal with
Yes.
all the haters out there
So-
on how we parent.
So I would tell you that having a home life that is so great has led to me enjoying my job more. And I've never, I hate to say it, I've never lost a job. I've never been in that position. I'm in the 4th quarter of my career, so maybe I've passed a lot of those turbulent times. But I never take anything for granted. And I think the older you get in this business, if you're not evolving and trying to get better and staying ahead of the posse, so to speak, it serves you well. I think a little paranoia is good. And so I constantly feel like, there's somebody younger and better and cheaper and ready to come up. And it's like a player. It's exactly like a player. You're always worried about, can I hold on to this job? And so I cherish it so much. And so I've got the best of both worlds. I married the girl of my dreams, and I'm doing the job that I dreamt of.
Yes.
So
love that.
But this is because you're so humble. This is what you don't point out is what you do behind the scenes,
Right.
the hard work you put in from day one to be as good at what you do as you are. Like, do you here, answer this. Do you go back and watch every single broadcast?
Yes.
See?
I was flying in from Los Angeles this morning and listening to the fourth quarter of our Lions and San Francisco NFC Championship game a couple weeks ago. And I've come up over the years with the grading sheet for TV and radio, NFL, and then one for NBA. And on this sheet, I listen to every play, and I've got a series of things that are important for me to say every play. And if I don't say that thing on that play, like just something as simple as geography, where the ball was caught, I'll put a circle there, and that's the thing. And so before I go on the air, I'll look at that grading sheet and say, okay, I really was not as sharp as I should have been in this category and this category, whatever it might be, and try to change that for the next broadcast. So it's a constant self-evaluation, which is like a torture chamber.
Yes.
But right, when you listen back to your stuff, you go, oh my God.
Yep.
And like when I was a kid, I listened to these great voices like Ray Scott and Pat Summerall and Keith Jackson. And I said, that's what I want to sound like. And I listen back, and I don't sound anything like those guys. And it's so discouraging. But you sound like how you sound. I mean, God gave you a voice, and that's what you are. And so I try to make the most of it. But I strive to continually improve. And I always tell my daughter, I said, delivery is everything in this business. I'd rather hear something delivered well with poor material than something with great material delivered poorly. Because you're so taken by a bad speech, bad play-by-play. So it's all about delivery for me.
No doubt. God, can you imagine if we went back and graded ourselves every day? It'd be like F.
I'm trying to figure out when he's going to start the
B.
mentorship program.
F, yeah.
Where's that
No
sign-up
doubt.
sheet?
Kevin will send you some tapes, man.
Yeah, there you go. In your spare time,
You guys are living in the greatest city in the country, having a fun time on the air like this. You guys have got it made.
Do you get to do so much?
I was just there for the final game against Jacksonville.
Really?
For CBS.
Yeah.
And I had not been there in 3 years. Our daughters looked at Vanderbilt, and they decided to go other places. But I hadn't been there in 3 years. I was stunned at what your lineup of buildings looks like. It's places that were like vacant, and old buildings are now beautiful high rises and all that. I mean, it's stunning what has happened to that city. And you're not even done. They're still building.
No.
Crane after crane after crane.
You want to know something? There's a 2.5-year backlog on cranes.
Oh, you're kidding me.
It's going to keep
crazy.
going.
You know what? There's something that's so pure about that city. It's a city that has just kind of attracted the right kind of, like our Jim Nance. He lives in Nashville.
Yep.
He listens to our show.
Yeah.
He randomly called our show on a listener
No,
list.
he
On
did?
a listener line.
Did he really?
And he knew all about us. And
Yeah.
it was
Did he
the
say who
best.
it was, or did he say, hi, I'm
He
Joe
did.
and
No, he said it was
Brentwood
Jim
or
Nance.
whatever?
And you know,
And
like
at
you're doing
first we're
radio.
like,
We're like, is this
Who
really
is
Jim?
this messing with us?
I didn't believe him.
But
I didn't
then
believe him at all.
you do. He has such a distinct
Oh,
voice,
my
right?
gosh.
So we're
Oh,
like,
he's the
oh,
best.
this is really him.
he is our signature voice at CBS, and
Yeah.
it's an honor to be on the same team as him.
See,
That was
so
amazing.
Kevin Harlan with us on 3HL.
it's perfect. You talk about Nashville, where our city is setting everything up with a new stadium coming.
Cannot wait.
For you to be calling a Tennessee Titans Super Bowl here
Wouldn't that be
in
fun?
about
Yes.
3 years.
Well, you've been there before. Is Fish living there? Is Jeff Fisher living
Yep.
there?
He
lives
is.
there? Good,
Yeah.
good.
He's the best, yeah.
Yeah, and I see Dave, who does color with Mike on the radio broadcast. So
Coach
I mean,
Mack, yep.
Coach Mack.
I am into, and Robbie Boren at the
Been there
and
forever.
Dwight and
Yep.
all those
They'll
guys.
give you a hard
Oh,
time,
my
but they're
gosh.
amazing.
They're good people. Yeah,
Yes.
good. I love coming to Nashville.
Kevin,
Good
is
stuff.
there a call that you're most proud of?
You know how the social media is. They almost pick it for you, but I would tell you that I'd like to think my best call is ahead of me. I'd like to think that maybe on Sunday will be. So, I'm so critical. I'm the worst person to ask on that. Things I change about every call and everything I've done. So I'd like to think the best is ahead, but there are people that would talk about the LeBron dunk or Kobe Bryant. I was just in Los Angeles last night, and they were unveiling a Kobe Bryant statue. And so they're playing all kinds of highlights during the game, during our broadcast and inside the arena there. And they were playing a couple that I did when I started doing Kobe when he was a rookie in 1996.
Yeah. Oh my
so I
gosh.
followed his whole career, and what a tragic loss. But the memory of him is still very vivid, and he might be the most popular Laker ever. And that's for a franchise that had, some really big names, right?
Yeah.
Really big names.
Slightly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go off the main call of things, because you mentioned there are lists on the internet. So you go from anywhere from a fan winning a Frosty that you call straight up, beer spilling on a player, a baby race I saw.
Cat.
How much fun do you have with those things?
Well, the older I get, I'm having more fun because I guess I fear nothing. I think the more relaxed you are, the more at peace you are with whatever you say in those circumstances. Now, when I get down to the nuts and bolts, it's a different story. But when you're having fun, you're having fun. I'm sure the people that listen to your show, feel the same way about you guys. They can tell you're all friends.
That's
they
our
can
goal.
tell, and you can tell that. And so I guess I've just become now more comfortable. Now there's a danger there too. You can cross that line and go, I guess I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. So I guess I go right to the precipice and kind of look over and then back up really quick.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite moment of those types of things for you? Not best. Well, I'm not going to ask you best.
Well, and again, they talk about the drunk on the field in Santa Clara, and again I was feeling pretty loose and relaxed, and the guy ran out there, and it was a boring Monday night game, and what came out. Probably not the smartest thing I've ever done in my career, but I think everyone was okay with it in its place, and I haven't done it since, and won't do it again. But listen, I have been blessed beyond measure to be in this business, and cherish every moment I had. I'm 63 now, and I'll be 64 later this summer. And know that the clock is ticking, and I see a lot of my friends retiring, and the business has changed, as we all know. So I think the older I get, and I think everybody says this about whatever profession they're in, you appreciate more the people you run into, and you see from familiar faces, and the experiences you have, and that's kind of the state I'm in right now.
Which you really get to do this week, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun to see familiar faces and friends.
So on the way out, just real quick, before we wrap things up, obviously we have to ask you about the game. San Francisco favored, but everybody's picking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
What's going to be the key in this one?
Well, yards after catch, Mahomes' performance, how Purdy is going to do. All these different things are important things to do on your list of what to check off. Every time I think I've got a team with an advantage, I see a counter on the other side, and vice versa. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to go. Honest to God,
Isn't that the beauty of this matchup?
It is, yeah. This matchup is very equal. It's more equal than people think.
Yeah.
I saw the Chiefs against Miami in Buffalo, and then I saw San Francisco last week. I've done multiple games with both teams this year for CBS, and can tell you that the difference between them is an eyelash. I think it's incredible. Now, everyone's talking about Mahomes, and I get that, and they should. And he's a generational talent. But Purdy should not be. He has done what he's done in 2 years, nothing short of remarkable.
Kevin Harlan, he'll be on the call. Westwood 104.5 The Zone on Sunday, the big game.
I'll be thinking of your station as we're sitting in that booth over at the stadium over here. As they do all the time.
And think of this compelling conversation.
That's right.
No, this has been so much fun. Thank you for having me. Thank you for carrying the games.
Yes, sir.
And I do mean it sincerely when I see familiar faces, and sometimes I'll get lost on what city I'm going to. But I do recognize everybody here, and it's always fun to see you. And thank you so much for welcoming on to your show.
Thank you. It's an honor. Kevin
Yes.
Harlan. All right, 4th 3HL coming up on 104.5 The Zone.